Take a moment to feel the full length of your body, breath. Connection to the earth. Your head aspiring to reach the heavens above. Gently close your eyes. Boktoh. Boktoh Yame. Great. And let's go ahead and begin with Tenshingoso Sei. So feeling very sincere, very holy, coming in to Musoi. And opening expressing yourself, growing into the world. Reaching through your aspirations, gathering them, and bring them into reality, into the world. Cutting down gathering your energies in yourself to do the work into your center and project it out. Do your best. Reaching far, the ideal, and gathering it all. Expressing all that you've done in your best. Offering it up and passing it on to the next generation and return self. Amen. Okay, good. So last week I showed the basic etiquette procedure for the Boktoh. So just to review, starting on the right, it's very much more casual. We just switch hands, and when we draw it out, there's two ways of drawing it out. We can twist and open. Big ah feeling. I'm going to go down into Hami Handachi so I don't hit my ceiling. And we come to Tenso. I'm choked up a little bit on the Boktoh here because I can't quite reach Tenso without going through my ceiling. And then bring it down to Shoko. What the grip, when we're holding it two hands, most of the weight is with the left hand. The right hand is guiding it. As we return from Shoko, we always finish with a nice strong Shoko and come back, just relax over the shoulder and just grab it with the hand. Okay, so with the Bokken, so Bokkens are the curved one, they're usually a little lighter. When we're doing that, we start again with the right hand. With this, we're thinking much more with, particularly in Shintaido Kenjutsu program, we're thinking much more like we're preparing to practice with, as if we're practicing with a real steel blade with a scabbard. So Again, we hold it, start it with our right hand, keeping the handle up so that it's close to our body, we know where it is. We're a little bit more formal as we switch hands. We acknowledge that this is real. We got to be a little bit more careful, particularly as we progress to moving with a practice with a sword and come to the left side. When we're drying it as if it were in a scabbard. So a lot of people will use a white glove or a glove that they can slide it in so that the sword moves through their hand as they're drying it or putting it back in. My hands don't get particularly sweaty, so I don't use that, but if you feel free if you wish to. So in drying it, there's again the two same ways of drying it. We twist it. This most standard way is twisting. We pull it all the way out so that the tip is just at our hand, and then we open. Again, opening, tenso. I'm going to go down into Hami Hanachi. And this is my tenso with the Bokken. I'm going to set it down for a second. It's as if I had my hands open, kaishoken, and I'm just grabbing whatever's there. So the tip points back rather than straight up, and coming down to shirtbow in front. When we finish, there's a movement called chiburi. That's a ready or holding position, protecting ourselves, protecting and saying we're still here, we're ready, and then putting back the back end of the blade lands on my left hand. I draw it forward till the tip is at my hand, and it slides naturally back into the scabbard, the imaginary scabbard here. Okay, let's try that. Starting from the right side. Bring it right hand, left hand underneath, and switch sides. Drawing, twisting to open, pulling out till the tip is at the hand, and then begin a cut out, shoot on. Again, I'm going to go down into Hami Hadachi and bring overhead tenso and down. One of the things you may notice in my shoko, in the bokken, it's a little lower, and it centers my energy centers at my center and is still, again, the weight is on the left hand and reaches out from that point. With a Boktoh, it is a little higher, and although it comes from the same center point, it comes up a little bit through my body and then out at maybe solar plexus level, or a little bit higher as you first do it, and reaches out that way. Okay? Other ways of drawing can be just up and out and reach out. That's particularly good if you're close to something and you don't want to, for example, the plant here, I don't want to hit the plant. I can reach out. But again, I am drawing the sword. The handle comes and pulls out before I reach out. Extends with the handle before I reach out. Okay? And again, Chiburi is often a final position, and particularly the kata, but that putting back in this position is called noto. So the sliding in is We catch it about a third of the way, draw the sword out so that it's exactly the same angle as our scabbard, and slide it in back into our scabbard. And we're not forcing it, it just glides back in. We want to have that feeling. Let's go ahead and do some Tenshingoso with the Bokken. You can do this either, I'm going to sit because I tend to hit the ceiling if I do it standing, but it can be done either in a sitting or standing. Initially, so drawing out, opening ah, both hands at this point come open and we're tenso. I find tenso, then I go a little bit to my left and I cut down Jodan. Here, there is very little bit of a beginning of a pushing out feeling, but that almost instantaneously goes back into what is called hasso, which I twist my blade so that it points backwards. And then it falls like a tree, comes flat to the ground, and I cut across, shoot on all the way across. And then back behind my back, up and to tenso. I go to the right side a little bit. I cut down Jodan. I reach out a little bit and come back into hasso. Fall Chudan and cutting across. This is a drawing. All of these are much more drawing cuts than with the Boktoh. And so the cutting edge of my blade is more towards the middle of the blade rather than the tip in all the movements. And I reach out with my hands and my arms to lead the sword. And going up to tenso, bit to the right, and cutting down Jodan, Ish, our knee. Slight reach out and come back to hasso, san, let it fall, and cut across Chudan, shi. And cutting around behind and up to tenso, ish, little bit to the left, and cutting down Jodan, knee, little bit out and back into hasso, san, let it fall to Chudan, and cut shi. And again, other side, ish. A little bit to the right, and down Jodan knee. Slight reach out, and back to hasso, san, and shi. Just counting, ish, knee, on, shi, ish, knee, san, shi. And then finish shoko. And releasing, bring my hand to my left hand. So this chiburi, and then back, gently away off the sword, back of the sword on the left hand, point out so that it's nice in front, straight in front, and let it slide through your hand until it's held in the right spot. Okay. I'm going to set that down for a second. So last week we did Tenshingoso with just one hand, and then with the other hand. So the movements, particularly on the left side, if you practice the left side for the right hand or the right side for the left hand, it helps understand what the cut is going to be a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do Tenshingoso one-handed and go ish. On this, remember we reach across our body and we twist and cut down knee. Just gently holding it up, a little bit of pressure before we go back, san, and then cutting across chudan, shi. And around, behind, and above, up to tenso, a little bit to the right, and cut down jodan, ish, a little bit on the left. I hold the pressure there, I cut back, san, or twist back san, and I cut chudan. Ish, a little bit to the left, ni, san, shi. Ish, ni, san, shi. So if you notice, we're only doing 4 cuts for something we call 5 phenomena. So the slight push before we cut back would be the E before we start O. That is for the flow of the sword movement, we make that one count. So out and back, and then shoot up. Let's do left hand. Ah. Reach over to the right side, cut down A. Slight push, then cut back, pull back, E, 3 and 4. It's best to just count. And each, just to the left side, or right side, knee, I'm right, left side. San, pull back, and shi. And one more time on each side. Ish, right cuts down, jodan, pull back, san, and shudan shi. Other side, ish, left cut down, knee, comes down on the right side of the body, pulls back, san, and cutting across shudan. Let's do both hands together. So this is not the standard Tenshingoso that we do, but this is as if we're holding a weapon. So still coming up, ah. We're going to start moving to the right side and cutting down the right jodan. Gently pushing and then pulling back both hands. Also feeling, twisting our body, and then cut across chudan. And let your body relax, go behind, and reach tenso from behind and up. Come to the left side, cut down, jodan. Slight reach out and then back, san. Also feeling, and then cutting across chudan. And around behind, tenso to the right. And he, san, and tenso, ish. And cutting down knee and back, san, shi. One more time each side. Ish, ni, san, shi. And ish, ni, san, shi. And back to shoko. And for here, just returning back. So this can be done with the short stick, as imagine it either as a bokto or bokken. If you have I have a short sword, which is the actual short like bokken. But if it was a straight line, I could be practicing either way, holding it. So I could imagine it like a bokto and do with a leading the Tenshingoso with my tip and go ah, so it points more. Again, I'm going to have to sit down because I'll hit, even with this, I'll hit the ceiling. And over to the side, and my tip leads, cutting down A, E, and O. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And ish, ni, san, shi. Ish, ni, san, shi. And back to shoko and back. Or I could be doing this. Let's try it as if we're holding a bokto or bokken. So drawing out and ah. So the handle comes up higher, the blade is flat, and A, E, O. The handle leads more. Ish, ni, san, shi. Ish, ni, san, shi. And finish. Noto or Djibouti and Noto.